difference between idiolect and dialect. An idiolect represents the distinctive speech patterns, vocabulary, grammar, grammatical preferences unique to an individual, shaped by personal experiences, education, background, and social interactions. Idiolect is essentially a personal dialect. Idiolect is essentially a personal dialect. Whereas a dialect encompasses the linguistic characteristics common to a specific group of people. A specific group of people के लिए जो common है, that is dialect, and that is only for personal, उसे कहते हैं idiolect, right? Common to a specific group of people, often defined by geographical reasons or social affiliations, reflecting shared influences and cultural identity. It belongs to a group of people. It decides cultural identity. It is totally regional, based on geographical locality. Alright, while an idiolect is highly personalized and varies even among members of the same family or community, highlighting the individuality in language use, dialects serve to identify and unite groups. Idiolect is totally individual. It is different from other members of the family, while dialect क्या काम करती है? It attempts to unite, right? Dialects serve to identify and unite groups, showcasing the collective linguistic identity that distinguishes them from others. Indian English, Bihari English, Bengali English, Awadhi English, Bhojpuri English, these are dialects, right? Shared community, shared identity, shared cultural beliefs, shared locality, ये जो linguistic aspects हैं, ये dialect के हैं. Idialects evolve over a person's lifetime, influenced by change in environment, social circles, and personal development. The dynamic nature of idialects illustrates how individual language use is a reflection of one's evolving identity and experience. On the other hand, dialects may also evolve, but over longer period, as they reflect broader social unities, migrations, and cultural transformations. Alright, the study of idialects is crucial in the fields like forensic linguistics, where individual speech patterns can provide important evidence. Dialects are studied to understand linguistic diversity, historical language change, historical development of the language, and socio-cultural factors that influence language use on a larger scale. Idialects and dialects both contribute to the richness of language and its capacity to convey not just information but also personal and cultural identity. While one emphasizes individual uniqueness, that is idialect, the other highlights communal bonds and cultural heritage, that is dialect. Is this okay? We all speak the same language, that is dialect, and we all speak in a different way, that is dialect. Clear? Dialect and idialect. I say tomato and you say, आप उसे क्या बोलते हैं? Tomato. I did. This is the dialect and idialect. A dialect is a variety of language used by a group. A dialect is a variety of language used by a group, while idialect refers to individuals' unique usage of words and expressions. Point number 2 that you have to understand that dialect is language. Dialect is a variety of language. What is idialect? Idialect is usage of dialects. Usage of words and expression, उसको idialect कहा जाता है. Now the next term is sociolect. A person's idialect includes her choice of words, her intonation, high voice, low voice, her pronunciations. These are the elements of idialect. Grammatical pattern or other peculiarities. My better half, who grew up in Colorado, worst the class. Subtle, but it made me smile every time he said it. Don't go for it. Next term is sociolect. Idialect, dialect, and the next term is sociolect. What is sociolect? Sociolect is a dialect dictated by your class or position in society, whereas sociolect is a dialect of a particular social group. Idialect refers to an individual's unique dialect. Idialect and sociolect both are forms of dialect, right? Dialect के दोनों form हैं, whereas sociolect is the dialect of a particular social group. Dialect of a particular social group. Idialect refers to an individual's unique dialect. The term idialect is the combination of the Greek idio. Idio means personal and elect form of dialect and was coined by the linguist बर्नार्ड ब्लॉक. सबसे पहले आइडियोलेक्ट की बात किसने की थी? आइडियोलेक्ट was coined by the linguist. कौन से लिंग्विस्ट? जिनका नाम था बर्नार्ड ब्लॉक। BLOCH. All right, sociolect is the dialect of a particular social group. All right, examples include school jargon used between school children, criminal jargon, ऑफिस jargon, या इसी को आजकल आप स्लैंग भी कह सकते हो, दैट इज यूज्ड बाय अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप, अ पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी। राइट, सोशियोलेक्ट उसे कहते हैं। क्रिकेट के फील्ड पे, स्पोर्ट्स के फील्ड पर आप देखते हो स्लेजिंग होती है। स्लेजिंग इज अ टाइप ऑफ सोशियोलेक्ट। ऑलराइट, नाउ the next term in the field of language, aspects of language, is pidgin. There are two terms that are often confusing, like idiolect and dialect, pidgin and creole. Pidgin and creole, there are two terms that need particular attention. What is the difference between pidgins, creoles, and then dialect? Can anyone tell the difference between pidgin and creole? How many of you understand the word pidgin? What is pidgin? A pidgin is a simple language made from other languages. Simple language made from other languages used by people without a common tongue. Point number one, a pidgin is a simple language made from other languages used by people without a common tongue. Pidgins have no native speakers but can become full languages known as creoles over time. There are over 100 pidgins, 100 pidgin languages today, often in places with histories of colonialism like West Africa, like India, like other Caribbean islands, Caribbean countries. There are around 100 pidgins, 100 types of pidgins. What it is a pidgin? Pidgin is a simple language made from other languages. For example, when you talk about Indian English, when people came to India, when the Britishers came to India, they didn't know how to speak Hindi because they were English people. They brought with them their own language, that was English. But they were unable to communicate here in English because here Indians didn't understand English. What did they do? What did they do? They developed a language called pidgin. A pidgin is a simple language made from other languages. राइट, तो इंडिया में जो इंग्लिश बनी वो इंग्लिश से आकर के बनी, और ऐसे लोग बोलते थे विदाउट अ कॉमन टंग, जो कॉमन टंग भी नहीं हुआ करती थी. पिजिन इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ लैंग्वेज दैट हैज टिपिकली इवॉल्व्ड using simplified grammar and structures from an external language combined with features of local languages. Right? ग्रामर अंग्रेजी का या और वर्ड्स उसमें हिंदी के आने शुरू हुए तो वो धीरे धीरे पिडजिन बनती गई। इन लिंग्विस्टिक्स अ पिडजिन is a simplified form of speech formed out of one or more existing languages. Right? Pidgin is not all alone, but it is formed by different languages out of one or more existing languages and used as a lingua franca by people who have no other language in common. Britishers came here and they didn't have any language in common with Indian people. Indian have different and English are different. Both of them kya kiya? They mixed their language. That mixed language became lingua franca, that is Pidgin. Right? Also known as Pidgin language or an auxiliary language. Pidgin language is known also as auxiliary language. Alright, English pidgins include Nigerian pidgin English, Chinese pidgin English, Hawaiian pidgin English, Queensland Kanaka English, and Bislama, one of the official languages of the Pacific Island nation of Vietnam. Right? English pidgins, it is made up of several languages. A pidgin is nobody's mother tongue. इस बात को याद रखिएगा. A pidgin is nobody's mother tongue. Pidgin किसी की मदर टंग नहीं होती. And Pidgin is not a real language at all. Pidgin real language भी नहीं होती. It is not a real language at all. फिर ये होती क्या है? ना तो ये किसी की मदर टंग है और ना तो ये कोई रियल लैंग्वेज है क्या? It is a mix of several languages, right? For example, Pidgin is a language with no native speakers, sometimes regarded as a reduced variety of a normal language. If a pidgin becomes the native language of a speech community, अगर यह पिडजिन जो कई भाषाओं से मिलकर के बनी होती है, जो दो नॉन स्पीकर्स के बीच में लिंक लैंग्वेज का काम करने लगती है, लिंगुआ फ्रैंका का काम करती है, जब इसी लैंग्वेज को असली भाषा किसी ग्रुप की मान ली जाए तब उसी को क्रियोल कहा जाता है. CREOLE. जब ये किसी कम्युनिटी की लैंग्वेज बन जाती है तब उसे क्रियोल कहा जाता है. CREOLE. राइट? पिडजिन एक चाइनीज प्रोनाउंसिएशन है. खैर उससे आपको कुछ खास लेना देना नहीं है, बस आप पिडजिन समझिए कि पिडजिन इज नोबडीज मदर टंग. पॉइंट नंबर 1, पिडजिन इज नॉट अ रियल लैंग्वेज. पॉइंट नंबर 2, then what is pidgin? Pidgin is used by the people who are non-native speakers, right? When two people communicate and both have different mother tongues, तो जो लैंग्वेज वो यूज करते हैं to communicate वही pidgin है. At first, a pidgin language has no native speakers and is used just for doing business with others with whom one shares the pidgin language and no other. In time, most pidgin languages disappear as the pidgin speaking community develops and one of its established languages becomes widely known and takes over the role of pidgin as the lingua franca or language of choice of those who do not share a native language. Many pidgin languages even survive today in territories which formerly belonged to the European colonial nations and act as lingua franca. For example, West Africa, West African Pidgin English is used extremely between several ethnic groups along the West African coast. More than 100 Pidgin languages are currently in use. Most pidgins are structurally simple, although if used over many generations, they do evolve as do all languages. Is it okay? Pidgins are born out of the need for people to communicate without speaking a common language. राइट जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कोई हिंदी बोलता है और कोई इंग्लिश बोलता है, हिंदी वाले को इंग्लिश नहीं आती और इंग्लिश वाले को हिंदी नहीं आती, फिर दोनों मिलकर के कुछ ऐसे जो है वर्ड्स बना लेते हैं, अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं, जिसके थ्रू वो अपना बिजनेस करना शुरू कर देते हैं, उसी को पिडजिन कहा जाता है। और पिडजिन से क्रियोल की एक जर्नी होती है, पिडजिन से क्रियोल की जर्नी होती है। क्रियोल, CREOLE, a Creole means a Creole comes into being when children are born into a pidgin speaking environment and acquire the pidgin as a first language. पहले बताया था पिडजिन तो का कोई नेटिव स्पीकर नहीं होता, बट जब दोनों के बीच में पिडजिन स्पीकिंग जो कम्युनिटी बनी है, उनके जब बच्चे पैदा होते हैं और उनके बच्चे ऐसे माहौल में डेवलप होते हैं, राइट, ऐसे माहौल में डेवलप होते हैं जहां पर पिडजिन ही बोली जाती है, तो वो उनकी फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज हो जाती है। और जब फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज होती है तो उसी को क्रियोल कहा जाता है, राइट। A Creole comes into being when children are born into pidgin speaking environment and acquire the pidgin as first language. What we know about the history and origins of existing Creoles suggests that this may happen at any stage in the development of pidgin. There are several possible fates for pidgin. It may eventually drop out of use. This has happened in several countries right now, almost entirely displaced by English. It can remain in use for generations or even centuries, as has happened with some West African pidgins. Alright, most dramatically, it can be turned into a mother tongue. Right, कुछ भी हो सकता है पिडजिन के साथ. A Creole is a language that has evolved from contact between European language, French, English or Portuguese and a local language or a variety of local languages. Most Creoles emerged during the slave trade and are most commonly associated with the West Indies and Africa. There are also many English-based Creoles in South and Southeast Asia. Any doubt, any question, any query? Have you understood the point and the difference between Pidgin and Creole? Any doubt? Any question? कोई डाउट हो तो बताओ, फिर से रिपीट कर सकते हैं हम। नो डाउट। Pigeons are simplified language that emerge as a means of communication between speakers of different native languages, typically in context of trade or colonization. Creoles are languages that developed from pidgins, acquiring full linguistic structure and native speakers often within a single generations. ये बेसिक डिफरेंस है पिजिन और क्रियोल के बीच में, राइट। पिजिन काम क्या करते हैं? पिजिन appear as a sort of bridge for people of two cultures to communicate with each other. The grammar structure of this common language is very bare bones, making it easy for all sides to pick it up without much issue. It is basically a bridge for communication. अगर आप कभी एयरपोर्ट पर जाएं या आप किसी बड़े शहर के रेलवे स्टेशन पर जाएं जहां पर फॉरेनर्स आते हैं, उनको हमारी भाषा नहीं आती, और हमारे जो ऑटो वाले हैं, हमारे जो कैब वाले हैं, ओला उबर वाले हैं, वो अंग्रेजी नहीं जानते, फिर भी बोथ ऑफ देम कैन कम्युनिकेट। तो जिस लैंग्वेज के थ्रू वो कम्युनिकेट करते हैं, द लैंग्वेज दैट बिकम्स अ ब्रिज फॉर बोथ ऑफ देम, उसी को पिडजिन कहा जाता है। अब क्लियर? अब तो बिल्कुल 100% क्लियर हो गया ना। पिडजिन से पिडजिनाइजेशन बनता है, एंड पिडजिनाइजेशन गिव्स वे टू क्रियोलाइजेशन। पहले पिडजिन बनी और फिर उससे क्रियोलाइजेशन बनता है, व्हेन दिस लैंग्वेज गोज फ्रॉम बीइंग अ सेकेंड लैंग्वेज टू गेनिंग नेटिव स्पीकर्स। अभी तो ये सेकेंड लैंग्वेज बन गई, और जब नेटिव स्पीकर्स इसके आ जाएं तब वो क्रियलाइजेशन हो जाता है। यूजुअली ये सेकेंड जनरेशन के लोग करते हैं। दैट इज व्हाट सेट्स द टू अपार्ट। क्रियोल लैंग्वेज becomes native and the grammar becomes more robust and formalized. Clear? बढ़ते हैं आगे। अब मुझे लग रहा है कि कोई डिफरेंस ऐसा नहीं बचा है जो आप ना समझ गए हों। अगली अगला वर्ड है लिंग्विस्टिक्स में, जिसको आप रजिस्टर कहते हो। रजिस्टर हो सकता है कि आपने रजिस्टर को लैंग्वेज के रूप में जाना ही ना हो, आज जान लीजिए। रजिस्टर इज a variety of language used for a particular purpose or particular communicative situation. The register was first used by the linguist T.B.W. Reid in 1956. रजिस्टर भी एक लैंग्वेज है, यूज की जाती है फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस और पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिकेटिव सिचुएशंस, उसको रजिस्टर कहा जाता है। used for a particular specific purpose or particular communicative situations. Registers in linguistics describes how language use changes based on social context and audience. There are five main types of linguistic registers: frozen, formal, consultative, casual, and intimate. These are five main types of linguistic registers. You could write their name down. You could write the names of these five main types of linguistic registers: frozen, formal, consultative, consultative, casual, and intimate. These are the five main types of linguistic registers. Clear? Choosing the right register involves considering vocabulary, tone of voice, and social cues. In linguistics, register is defined as how a speaker uses language in different circumstances. How a speaker uses language differently in different circumstances. Words are same, grammar are same, but the same words are spoken in different way in different situations. Think about words. You choose your tone of voice, even your body language. You probably behave differently chatting with a friend than at a formal dinner party or a job interview. We talk, we behave differently at different places. Our way of communication depends on situation. These variations in formality, also called stylistic variations, are known as registers in linguistics. क्लियर हुआ? इसी वे ऑफ टॉकिंग को, वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेटिंग को, वे ऑफ यूजिंग ऑफ लैंग्वेज को लिंग्विस्टिक्स में रजिस्टर कहा जाता है. दे आर डिटरमिन्ड बाय such factors as social occasion, context, purpose, and audience. Is it okay? A register is a variety of language used for a particular purpose or particular communicative situations. Registers in linguistics are marked by a variety of specialized vocabulary and tunes of phrases, colloquialism, and the use of jargon, and a difference in intonation and pace. जब हम क्लास में पढ़ा रहे होते हैं, हमारा इंटोनेशन, हमारा पेस, हमारा वे ऑफ टॉकिंग सब डिफरेंट हो जाता है. और यही जब हम क्लास में नहीं होते, बाहर होते हैं, फ्रेंड से बात कर रहे होते हैं, तो हमारा वे ऑफ टॉकिंग डिफरेंट हो जाता है. इसी को लिंग्विस्टिक रजिस्टर कहा जाता है. राइट? क्लियर? Registers are used in all forms of communication, including written, spoken, or signed. Depending on grammar, syntax, and tone, the register may be extremely rigid or intimate. You do not even need to use an actual word to communicate effectively. a huff of exasperation during a debate, or grin while singing आज hello speaks volumes. बहुत कुछ आपकी टोन बता देती है, हमेशा आपको बोलने की ही जरूरत, वर्ड्स की ही जरूरत नहीं होती. Some linguists say that there are just two types of registers, formal and informal. But I do not agree with this. This isn't correct, but it is an oversimplification. Instead, most who study language say there are five distinct registers in language, and I told you about those five distinct registers: formal, frozen, consultative, casual, and intimate. Clear? What is frozen? Now you will have to delve into a bit depth. Frozen. This form is sometimes called static register because it refers to historic language or communication intended to remain unchanged. That's why the term is frozen, like a constitution or prayer. The Bible, the United States Constitution, the Constitution of India, the Bhagavad Gita, Shakespeare's play The Romeo and Juliet, they are frozen register. You cannot change them. Second one is formal. It is less rigid but is still constrained. The formal register is used in professional, academic, or legal settings where communication is expected to be respectful, parliamentary, uninterrupted, and restrained. In a formal communication, we never use slang. Slang is never used and contractions are rare. For example, you would have watched lectures, you would have heard TED talks, TED talk, a business presentation, the Encyclopedia Britannica, Gray's Anatomy by Henry Gray, or you would have read various formal latest official communication, that is formal register. The third one is consultative register. People use this register when speaking with someone with specialized knowledge or offering advice. When we go to a doctor and talk to him about our injury, about our disease, about our physical problems, then we use specific words, that is consultative register. Slang is sometimes used here. People may pause or interrupt for one another. And then fourth is the casual register. This is the register people use with friends, close acquaintances, co-workers, family. It is probably the one you think when you considering how you talk with others in a group setting. And the last one is intimate register. When you use intimate register, linguistics say this register is reserved for special occasions, usually between only two people and often in private. Intimate language may be as simple as an inside joke between two college friends or a word whispered in lover's ear. That is intimate register. Frozen, formal, consultative, फिर consultative के बाद for casual and then intimate. These are five types of registers. Alright, Pidgin, Creole, Idiolect, Sociolect, and then register. These are the very important words, and I have tried to clarify each and every topic so that you could understand and click the right answer in your examination. Now let's proceed. This is the question here on your screen. Just study the question and the answer. Assertion 1, assertion 2. Pidgin which has acquired native users is a Creole. Right? Assertion 1, Pidgin which has acquired native users is a Creole. Assertion 2, a Creole is developed into a complex speech community. Now, quotes are given. Both A and 1 and 2 are true. 1 is true, second is false. 1 is true, both 1 and 2 are false. या फिर first false है and second is true. Now you have to answer. Just answer the question. If you have understood the points, if you have understood the difference between Creole and Pidgin, you could answer the question. And this question was asked in UGC NET exam. UGC NET एग्जाम का ये क्वेश्चन है, बता दीजिए आंसर. प्रोसीड करें. Now we proceed further with syllable. What is a syllable? A syllable is a unit of spoken language. It consists of either a single vowel sound like O or a combination of vowel and consonant sounds as in no, not. Syllable, the term comes from the Greek, means combine. There could be no sound without syllables. Syllables are unit of spoken language. When we speak something, we use syllables. Without syllable, you cannot speak anything. It could either be a single vowel sound or a combination of vowel and consonant. Examples are given here. While spoken language while spoken language words can be decomposed into phones, there seem to be other layers of structure that are relevant to how spoken language function. One such layer is made up of units called syllables. Thus, words can contain multiple syllables and each syllable can contain multiple phones. Of course, some words may have only one syllables and others may have multiple syllables. The syllables. The syllable is a grouping of segments that typically includes a vowel preceded and possibly followed by consonants. This unmarked syllable type consists of a consonant vowel sequence और जिसको आप अलग अलग नाम से जानते हो, उसी में एक CV भी होता है. A unit of spoken language is called syllable. There could be words of one syllable जिसको monosyllable कहा जाता है. Monosyllabic words, bisyllabic words, polysyllabic words, कई टाइप के वर्ड्स हो सकते हैं. When you have a single syllabic words, single voice, it is known as monophthong. When two voices, diphthong. When three voices, triphthong. Monophthong, diphthong, triphthong, ये सब अलग अलग voices हैं. Mono means single, di means double, tri means triple. So a monophthong is where there is one vowel sound in a syllable. When there is one vowel sound in a syllable, उसे monophthong कहते हैं. And a diphthong is where there are two vowel sounds in a syllable. Two vowel sounds in a syllable. And when there are three vowel sounds in a syllable, that is triphthong. Example, one vowel sound, no, o, r, one vowel sound. And when you say funny, funny, there are two vowel sounds, for, o, and e, funny. Two vowel sounds, hence it is diphthong. Clear? When there are one vowel sound, it is monophthong. When there are two vowel sounds, it is diphthong. When there are three vowel sounds, it is triphthongs. Three vowel sounds combined within a syllabus, within a syllable. All right. कैन बी प्रोसीड? समझ आ गया ना? Sometimes, or you could say very rarely, a single vowel, a single syllable may contain three vowel sounds that quickly glide together. This compound vowel sound is known as triphthong. There are three triphthongs that are generally agreed upon in American English. एग्जाम्पल की बात करें, थ्री वॉवेल साउंड की ट्रिप्थॉन्ग की आवर, आवर, आ, यू और ई तीन साउंड है तो ये मोनोसिलेबिक वर्ड आवर, फ्लोर, सोर, जब एक मोनोसिलेबिक वर्ड में सिंगल वॉवेल साउंड हो तो उसको मोनोप्थॉन्ग्स कहते हैं। जब एक मोनोसिलेबिक वर्ड्स में डबल वॉवेल साउंड्स हो तब उसको डिप्थॉन्ग कहते हैं। और जब एक मोनोसिलेबिक वर्ड्स में थ्री वॉवेल साउंड्स हो जाए तब उसे ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स कहते हैं। इज इट ओके? The triphthongs are pronounced as ow and it occurs with the letter combination IRE की अगर हम बात करें तो fired, dire, 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 inspire, island, right? खैर छोड़िए, ये ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स हो गए, मोनोप्थॉन्ग्स, डिप्थॉन्ग्स एंड ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स। फॉर टुडेज सेशन इतना ही। नेक्स्ट सेशन में फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे, प्रोसीड करेंगे और देखेंगे कि क्या है आपके अगले बॉक्स में। एंड नाउ इट इज माय रिक्वेस्ट फॉर यू कि go through the video again and again, and if you have any doubt you could write in the comment box, you could ask in the next session. I'll be there to address all your queries. Monophthong, diphthong और ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स, ये एग्जाम्पल्स यहां पर दिए हैं। ये एग्जाम्पल्स हैं पाई, स्काई, राइड, काउ, नाउ, लाउड, बॉय, टॉल, राइट? ये ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स, फायर, टायर्ड, फ्लेयर, आवर, पावर, टावर, प्लेयर, मेयर, लोअर, बिडोवर, लॉयल, रॉयल, ये ट्रिप्थॉन्ग्स के एग्जाम्पल्स हैं। ऑलराइट, थैंक यू सो मच, ऑल द बेस्ट, मीट यू टुमारो, गुड लक, टेक केयर, बाय बाय।